All problems are a deviation from love, and all solutions are a return to it. Plain and simple. It really is. I mean, if you really spend some quiet time thinking about this, you're going to see I'm not making this stuff up. So, if that's the case, then why does happiness seem so elusive? Because when you're in a state of love, like since you've been hearing me talk about love, has it made you think about people that you love? Okay, so take just a second and intentionally think of someone that you really, really, really love. How do you feel? Isn't it awesome? Don't you love how you feel? Don't you love being able to harness that power? It's like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Now, just think if you felt that every time you interacted with another human being. Do you see the power that you have? It's just amazing, this power that we have, and we have it. And so the trick is to not withhold it. And so why is happiness so often elusive? Well, because things happen, trauma and stress and illness and adversity. And I believe that during those times, what happens is it drops us into a fear-based state. And so we choose fear. We choose to house fear in our body instead of love. And that's why we don't have joy in adversity. And if you're like me and most people, you know when you hear those quotes about how you should have joy in adversity, you know you want to slap the person reading it to you. And you really wish you could get your hands on whatever idiot wrote it however many years ago. And because you're thinking, how is this possible? But it is possible. And the key to the whole thing is love. The reality is, though, this is one of my favorite hymns. This is what we're experiencing right now. Master, the tempest is raging. The billows are tossing high. The sky is o'ershadowed with blackness. No shelter or help is nigh. Carest thou not that we perish? How canst thou lie asleep? So you know the story. The Savior is doing what in the bottom of the ship? Sleeping in the same storm where what are the disciples doing? Not sleeping, panicking. Now, these are not bad people. These are not bad people. These are not schmucks. These are the disciples, okay? And yet, they go into panic mode because the waves are getting higher. And what happened? What did they do? Did they stay present? No. Where did they go? Into the future. We're going to die, okay? And he doesn't care about us. He doesn't care. It's like, really? What evidence do you have to support that? Like, all of a sudden, where did this come from? Did you think you weren't going to ever die? I hope this is not shocking to anyone in this room. You're all going to die, okay? I'm going to die. So it's just when things are uncertain, we panic. We go into panic, and then we go into fear, and then all these things happen. And so when you're experiencing grief or trauma, if you've had abuse, when you have adversity, when you have illness, uncertainty, they're all part of this fallen world. And none of us are exempt from feeling discomfort or pain or suffering. Now, as it happens, I have chosen a field where suffering is preeminent. If you look at the continuing stanzas of this song, they are very, very afraid. Master, with anguish of spirit, I bow in my grief today. The depths of my sad heart are troubled. Awaken and save, I pray. I have felt this way before. I would venture to say that every person in this room has felt that very way before, and maybe many times, and maybe for long periods of time. There's nothing wrong with you if that is the case, except the reason that you're feeling that is because you're in a human body and we're in a fallen world. So this is how the disciples are described as having to feel. So I think we're in good company that we feel the way. The depths of my sad heart are troubled. Awaken and save, I pray. Torrents of sin and of anguish sweep o'er my sinking soul. And I perish, dear Master. Oh, hasten and take Control. So sometimes we just feel like I cannot do this. I cannot go one step further. Well, I work in a world, I've chosen a profession as a humanitarian worker where suffering and sorrow and starvation, suffering on a level that makes me weep on almost a daily basis. People who know me know I cry almost every day because of the things that I see, the suffering that I see that other human beings are subjected to on this planet. And so I know that there is great suffering and great cruelty out there and terrible things taking place. But the awesome thing is I've also witnessed more hope and more grace and more mercy and more kindness and more generosity from the very people who were suffering than I have witnessed anywhere else in the world. Over and over and over again. And I have been blessed to see miracles every day. I have come to expect miracles every single day. When I wake up in the morning, I watch for the miracles because they happen all the time and they happen consistently and regularly, and I watch for them and they give me hope and they make me remember that love works.